Padres fans, we got to talk about some international free agency. The rumors and opportunities are starting to fly. The hot stove, for those of us that are observing early October breaks, is already here. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Padres Digest. This is the part of the show where if you are new, I always say, go ahead and drop a comment. We love to hear from you. And if you could hit the subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. No worries. Let's go on to talking about some baseball. I saw this report, and we'll have Munetaka Murakami be the first of many that we are going to discuss. So that's why I always say hit the subscribe button. There's plenty of opportunities to talk about a lot of different things. Padres, our channels, Andrew and I host. We talk about all things Padres. That is big and little. So this could be a little rumor. There may not even be a rumor. Maybe just an opportunity. Let's talk about, though, the first name that has come up. He is a 25-year-old infielder. I read a couple of articles, watched some videos so that you didn't have to. As always, I do apologize to people watching on the phone if the text is too small. Here is the basic summary of who this guy is career-wise from the article I read about him on ESPN. What remains to be seen is exactly how strong the market will be for him. In his professional Japanese career, he's shown massive power potential, but also has real strikeout concerns. He has generally been good for 30 to 40 homers a year, though, with the high being 56 home runs in 2022. In the 2025 season, he missed a large chunk of the season with an oblique injury. 56 games is what he played. In those 56 games, 22 home runs. So he is a guy who is a left-handed infielder, is 25, hits for power, has a lot of strikeouts. Kind of sound like Dan Uggla, maybe? Maybe he's the left-handed Japanese Dan Uggla. I don't know if that joke or visual applies to very many baseball fans out there who are going to actually watch this video. But if you got that, good for you. You've had a long baseball life, too. But yeah, okay, so a guy who I am interested in, though, because, and I could be wrong in all of this, so let's not just talk about Murakami, but in the comment, let's talk about all baseball stuff. But the Padres seem to specifically lack all sorts of things. Like you could point to different, though, this and that, this, but in general, more than anything, lacked home runs. So I think that it, to me, opened up an interesting opportunity because, of course, you're going to want to talk about all of the guys that are going to come across as potential free agents and be like this, that, or the other. But it was that combined. It was his learning about his upside of his pop, but knowing that maybe the market's not universal because some people might see him as Joey Gallo or something like that. Also, some issues here, or not issues, but just some other descriptive details. This was the other paragraph I really thought kind of distilled him best from the article of talking about Murakami. Has primarily been a third baseman during his time in Japanese professional baseball. He has also dabbled in first base and left field, but the scouting reports here in the majors have generally pegged him as a middle infielder, which is coded for a second baseman, and that's where I get the Dan Uggla thing because he is a subpar-ish. He's an okay fielder, kind of, like they said, he's going to wind up at first base probably in the long run of things, but for the here and the now, he's a 25-year-old prospect with plus-side power in an international market where the Padres have a little bit of spending room, maybe not 30, 50, 100 million Roki Sasaki runaway trade thing, but they have enough for a guy who maybe doesn't have a universal market. And that being said, it got me thinking, and this is now where we veer from, so the opportunity, the factual half of this video is that there is a 25-year-old kid with a lot of pop, a lot of strikeouts, and defense who's going to become the next international free agent available out of Japanese professional baseball that is of any sort of repute. And this guy is going to be hopefully at least entertaining an offer from the Padres. We will have more as it becomes available with the actual contract stuff going on. But it got me then thinking, why do I like this so much? Yes, I like it because of the pop and the power, and I want more home runs for the Padres, and I want lots of home runs for the Padres. And I think that you can say that right now there are certain people who like have a job because do you really want to dish? Do you want to deal with the fan backlash of trading Manny? Do you want to deal with the fan backlash of trading Fernando? Is anybody going to take Xander's contract? Jackson Merrill, that's way too big of a early prospect, still opportunity to blossom into a mega superstar. Like, there's some guys like that, but then there's, I think, a second category down of guys where it's like, okay, they are very good Padres, and you have people who, own the jersey and like them, but are they really like people that you would go out in front of the stadium and go on strike for if they traded it? Let me throw you these stats. I'll give everybody, you could pause this and go look these up, but I'll give everybody 5-10 seconds to come up with who in your head you think this is and whether or not this Padre is worth parting ways with in exchange for trying out somebody who has, some upside pop potentially. You done? It's Jake Cronenworth. These numbers I don't think make Cronenworth indefensible. Of I can't trade him. He's too good. He's too this. He had a down season compared to other seasons. He is a better baseball player than this. I'm not saying Cronenworth is cooked, but at the same time, Cronenworth, I think, maybe falls into this weird category. Here are the numbers for him. And I think he falls into this weird category of $12 million is expensive, but he's also like the only deal that the Padres could probably offload. Like offload. If Darvish is going to retire, that's one thing. Okay, great. Like, you can celebrate you for stepping out of just, stepping away from the team and whatnot. But $12 million here, I think in a couple of years for a second baseman who can hit 260 and like maybe Jake bounces back, or, if he winds up somewhere that good things can happen to his career, like, great, cool. I'm not saying we need to jettison Jake. I'm not, like, if we can pick up this guy for $2 million, because really everyone's like, he strikes out way too much, and we take a flyer on him, cool, let him be the backup. But I'm saying if you can offload Jake, again, this is where this goes way more into the hypothetical, so I appreciate you guys following along with me, but this is where hit me with the comments, and let's talk about this. But I think if you can offload Jake in a way that as long as you're not replacing it with a $12 million contract for Murakami, you bring in a guy, take a shot at him, inject some life, some whatever, just change of scenery is going to be best for all parties. Get Jake out somewhere. Maybe that opens up just a couple million more bucks to be able to go spend on pitching, to be able to go in on Michael King, to be able to go do something like that. I don't know. I'm never going to call for somebody's job other than Yoli Gurriel, and I will always call for his job. But I get it. The people bounce back, they ebb, they flow. Jake could come back and hit 285, 25 jacks next year. I could. I was wrong about him. I've been wrong about other guys before, but I get the sense that, like, maybe new vibes, go let Jake be an important piece of somebody. Right now, he's just not our central piece, and let's replace him, and let's get some pitching, and let's balance things out here, and let's make 2026 happen. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment, hit the subscribe button. Talk to you guys soon.